Have you ever stared at a flight map and wondered why don't airplanes just fly straight across the Pacific Ocean? It seems like a no-brainer after all. If you're flying from, say, Los Angeles to Tokyo, wouldn't it be faster just to head west over the ocean? Surprisingly, the answer is no. And the reasons why are deeply rooted in geography, aviation regulations, safety protocols, weather patterns, and the physics of flight paths. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of commercial aviation to understand why most airplanes avoid flying directly over the Pacific Ocean, and why it makes more sense to go around it even if that means adding distance to the trip. The reason a straight line over the Pacific seems logical is because of the way most maps are drawn. The Mercator projection, the type of world map most of us grew up with, distorts the shape and size of land masses, especially near the poles. On these maps, a direct route from North America to Asia appears to be a straight horizontal line across the ocean. But Earth is a sphere, and when you take that into account, the shortest distance between 2 points is not a straight line, it's a curved path known as the Great Circle Route. So when you see a plane flying from San Francisco to Tokyo, curving over Alaska or near the Arctic Circle, it's not going out of its way, it's actually following the shortest path possible on the surface of a sphere. Another major reason planes don't fly straight across the Pacific has to do with how vast and remote that ocean really is. The Pacific Ocean is the largest body of water on Earth, covering more than 63 million square miles. That's larger than all the land on Earth combined. No alternate runways, no nearby cities, just water. Airlines and regulatory agencies like the FAA and ICAO require flight paths to include contingency options, places to land in case of sudden engine failure, medical emergencies, or even extreme weather. If you're flying directly over the middle of the Pacific and something goes wrong, your nearest safe landing site could be several hours away, which isn't ideal when every second counts. This is where something called ETOPS comes in. ETOPS stands for Extended Range Twin Engine Operational Performance Standards. In simpler terms, it's a set of safety regulations that define how far a twin-engine aircraft can be from the nearest airport during its journey. In the early days of jet travel, twin-engine planes were only allowed to fly routes that kept them within 60 minutes of a diversion airport. Over time, aircraft technology improved and ETOPS certifications were extended first to 120 minutes, then 180 minutes, and now for some aircraft even over 300 minutes. That means modern jets like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner and the Airbus A350 can legally and safely fly farther from emergency landing sites. But even with these advancements, airlines often choose routes that stay closer to land simply because it's less risky and allows more flexibility in emergencies. Another factor that might surprise you is wind. At cruising altitude, planes encounter jet streams, fast-flowing air currents in the upper atmosphere that can dramatically affect flight time and fuel consumption. Jet streams typically flow from west to east, so if a plane is flying eastbound from Asia to North America, it will try to ride the jet stream to save fuel and time. But if the plane is flying westbound from the US to Japan, for instance, it will try to avoid these strong headwinds, which can slow the aircraft down and burn more fuel. That's why westbound routes are often more curved or take longer. These wind patterns aren't static either, they shift with the seasons, and flight planners use real-time data to chart optimal paths that balance distance, time, fuel, and safety. Over land, pilots can often fly around storms using radar and ground-based support systems. But over the open ocean, options are limited. Radar coverage is spottier, communication can be delayed, and weather systems have more room to grow in size and intensity. For that reason, airlines prefer routes where pilots can easily reroute, descend, or divert in response to bad weather. This again makes trans-Pacific direct routes less favorable. Now let's not forget about polar routes. In many cases, flights between North America and Asia, especially those departing from cities like New York, Chicago, or Toronto, will fly over the North Pole. These polar routes can be surprisingly efficient. Because of the Earth's curvature, they often result in the shortest Great Circle distance. But polar routes come with their own set of challenges, like extreme cold, limited satellite communication, and their need for special fuel and equipment. But for many airlines, the pros outweigh the cons. The combination of efficiency, safety, and fuel savings make polar routes increasingly popular for long-haul travel. So with all this in mind, does anyone fly over the Pacific? Absolutely. Flights to Hawaii, Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, and other Pacific destinations do cross large parts of the ocean. But these routes are carefully planned with ETOPS compliance, alternate routes like those in Hawaii or the US territories in mind, and often use aircraft that are certified for long over water flights. Airlines spend a huge amount on fuel, often the single biggest operating cost for a flight. By optimizing routes for wind conditions, aircraft performance, and available infrastructure, airlines can save thousands per flight. That adds up to millions over time. And then there's passenger comfort and confidence. Flights over land tend to feel safer for many people, even if they're not actually safer in a statistical sense. Having the psychological reassurance that you're never too far away from an airport can be valuable for both passengers and crew. To sum it up, airplanes don't typically fly directly over the Pacific Ocean for a mix of practical, technical, and safety reasons. It's not because pilots are afraid of water or because planes can't make the journey, it's because aviation is about minimizing risk and maximizing efficiency. Curved paths that go over Alaska or even the North Pole are usually faster, safer, and more cost-effective than trying to fly straight across an enormous empty ocean. So the next time you're on a flight and notice the plane heading way north instead of west, don't worry, it's not a detour. It's actually the smartest way to fly. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you dudes later.